This is the Energy Shift Show podcast, where we talk about spirituality and how to live your best life today. All it takes is a shift in perception. Hello, beautiful souls. Deb here, and I'm so excited you're joining me for today's show. As CEO of the Harmonic Sovereignty Studio, my goal with the podcast is to motivate you by sharing insights and also take you along as I speak to knowledgeable people that I have found inspiring to me throughout my years as an energy medicine practitioner and intuitive guide. I cover topics that I'm passionate about, all things under my 3 pillars of attune, anchor, and amplify. Attune into your energy and your inner wisdom to gain clarity on what truly matters for your passion in life and your well-being. Anchoring grounds your insights with practical tools and daily rituals that support sustainable, soul-aligned growth. And amplifying, well, that elevates your impact and vitality by expanding your energy, sharing your gift, and creating lasting change from a place of alignment. Now listen up for this exciting episode to begin. I will read the disclaimer. This podcast and the topics discussed stem from my own curiosity and desire to learn and should never be taken as direct medical advice. I am not a doctor, dietitian, nor any other medical professional. Please always consult your trusted provider regarding your health and your wellness. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Energy Shift Show. I'm your host, Debbie Sodergren. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the gap between knowing and doing. So, for the last few weeks, we've been in something I didn't fully plan when I shared it. I told you the truth about the cohort that didn't fill. I told you why. And I asked you to start somewhere smaller with the 5-minute mirror instead of the big commitment. A lot of you did exactly that. And now I'm hearing a new question. Now what? All right. I want to sit with that question honestly today instead of rushing past it to whatever comes next. Because I think it's the exact question that determines whether all of this, the honesty, the mirror, the assessment, actually changes anything for you. Or just becomes another thing that you learned and then quietly set aside. One more thing before we dig in. This topic is too important to rush into a single episode. So I'm breaking it into 4 trainings. 20 minutes each over the next 4 weeks. We're staying with real training. Not a quick pitch squeezed into 1 episode. This is training 1 of 4. Educate, the anchor piece of this. That's actually one of the most important questions in this entire body of work, because insight by itself doesn't change a business. You can attune perfectly. You can see your leak with total clarity and still wake up in 3 months doing exactly what you were doing before, because insight without structure just quietly fades. This is the part nobody talks about enough. Between the mirror and the big transformation, there's a whole middle stretch, and most people fall out of their own growth right there in the gap. Not because they don't care, not because the insight wasn't real, but because nobody handed them a structure sized for when they actually were needing it, where they were needing it in their business. I thought about this a lot since the August cohort didn't fill. And here's what I landed on. A group program isn't the right size for everyone who's ready to move forward. Some of you want to go deeper, but on your own timeline, in your own space, without a group of strangers or a fixed schedule. That's a completely valid way to grow. It's just missing from what I've offered. I want to say something else here too, because I think it matters just as much as the structure itself. There's a quiet belief a lot of us carry without ever saying it out loud. The real transformation has to happen in front of other people to actually count. In a group, with accountability partners, announced publicly, witnessed, cheered on. And for some of you, that's genuinely true. That structure works, and it works really well for you. But for a lot of women I work with, the opposite is true. The most honest work that you'll ever do happens when no one else is watching, when there's no performance involved, no version of you managing how the progress looks to the group. Just you and the truth right there sitting beside you. So when I say I'm building a self-paced option, I don't want you to hear that as a lesser version of the real thing. I want you to hear it as its own real thing, built for the version of growth that happens quietly, privately, on your own terms. Here's where we get to amplify. Let me tell you about a client, I'll call her Mary. She took the mini assessment back in July. Her result was clear. She was pricing herself based on what she thought was fair, not on what her work was actually worth. She knew that. She told me she'd known it for years. Seeing it named didn't surprise her. It just made it harder to ignore. But knowing it didn't change anything. Weeks passed. Her rates stayed exactly where they were, not because she didn't want to change them, but because she didn't have a structure for actually working through the decision. Just an insight, sitting alone, with nothing built around it. When we finally sat down together, the work wasn't discovering something new. The insight was already there. The work was building the structure, a sequence of steps in the right order that turned her clarity into an actual decision that she could carry out. That's what's actually missing, not more insight. Structure for the insight that you already just received. I heard something similar from another listener, a woman running a small design studio. Her assessment resulted in pointing at the delegation piece of her business. She was still doing work she'd outgrown months ago because handing it off felt harder than just doing it herself for one more time. She told me she'd read 3 books on delegation. She could recite the theories perfectly. She just never actually did it because none of those books were built around her specific business, her specific team, her specific fear underneath the delay. Same pattern as Mary. Plenty of insight, but no structure built to actually hold it and carry it into her real, particular life. So here's what I want to tell you today. I'm building something for exactly that gap between seeing your leaks clearly and having a structure to actually close them. It's not a group cohort. There's no fixed schedule, no live calls that you have to show up for, no room full of strangers. It's something that you can move through at your own pace, in your own time, built around the exact same energy drain map that the assessment already introduced you to. I'll share the full details in training too. Today, I just want you to know something. If you've taken the assessment and you felt that gap, clarity without the next step, go to harmonicsovereignty.com and let me know. There's a simple way there to tell me you're interested. No payment, no commitment, just a signal. So that when I open it up next week, you're the first to know. I'll be honest about why I'm doing it this way. After August, I don't want to guess anymore. I don't want to build something based on what I think that you need and find out afterward that I got the sizing wrong. So this week is genuinely about listening. If the gap between knowing and doing is where you're stuck, tell me. That's the whole ask for today. So in closing, insight is the beginning. It was never meant to be the whole journey. Structure is what carries you the rest of the way. And I want to make sure that you actually have it in a form that fits your life and your business. So, take a moment this week. Notice if you're standing in that gap right now. Notice if you're clear on what's true, still waiting on the structure to act on it. If you are, I see you. And in training 2, I'll have something for you. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like it and share it with a friend. And be sure to tune in to the rest of the series for the rest of August. So until next time, bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed this episode and it aligned with your frequency and the goal of living your best life, you can connect with me at harmonicsovereignty.com or debbiesodegren.com. Check out my YouTube channel, Debbie Sodegren. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Harmonic Sovereignty Studio. I invite you to send me your questions or comments or just say hello on social media or email me at debbiesodegren@gmail.com. And remember, a shift in perception is sometimes all it takes for you